ZOEY is the cutest character in K-pop Demon Hunters, and she won fans over with her one-of-a-kind personality. But did you really notice every single detail about her? A thing for bad boys. ZOEY may love turtles, but when it comes to romance, she's got a definite thing for bad boys. And if you're a true fan, you've already noticed this detail in several scenes. Her type? Easy. Mystery. It all started way back at the autograph signing, while she was standing next to baby Saja, throwing shade and making little snarky remarks. All it took was realizing Mystery was sitting right there beside them for her attitude to change completely. Suddenly, she turned sweet, delicate, almost glowing more than usual. It was like someone had flipped a switch. Sharp-eyed fans caught it right away. There was chemistry, and it didn't stop there. At the end, during the battle when the Huntrix are facing the villains, ZOEY drops one of the most iconic lines of the entire movie. Staring straight at Mystery, she says, "You're totally my type, but bye." That mix of honesty and sass hooked the fans, who still consider this one of the best moments ever. Plus, she was the only lucky one who got to see the face of the most mysterious member of the Saja Boys. And that's just the beginning. There's still a lot more to uncover about this story and these characters. Ready to dive into this awesome video? Diabetic. Here's another detail that made fans raise their eyebrows. The famous little box ZOEY always wears strapped to her arm. A lot of people noticed that mysterious accessory, and theories started flying immediately. Is it just futuristic fashion? A new kind of microphone? Or something much more serious? The strongest theory is that it's not just an accessory at all, but a medical device connected to diabetes. According to many fans, ZOEY is diabetic and wears that box as protection during her performances. And honestly, it makes sense. With all the dancing, jumping, and even fighting demons on stage, the device has to be secure. After all, the hunter can't risk losing her balance in the middle of a musical battle. But here's the interesting part. When she's at home, in her penthouse with the girls, ZOEY doesn't wear the box where anyone can see it. No strange gadgets, no extra protection. At home, she doesn't need to dance, jump, or fight supernatural monsters. She can just wear the device discreetly under her clothes and live her life normally. Preferably curled up on the couch, binge-watching documentaries about cute little animals. But does that make sense to you? Turtles. ZOEY absolutely loves turtles, and not in some basic way. No, we're talking professional collector level. They're everywhere. Pajamas, cute plushies, stickers slapped all around, and of course, in the iconic Norige. If there's an empty space, you can bet ZOEY has already thought about decorating it with turtles. But hold on, it's not just some random idol obsession, there's something much deeper behind it. This passion connects to the legend of the 4 Asian guardians. The black turtle is the symbol of the North, associated with protection and balance. In K-pop Demon Hunters, nothing is random, and ZOEY represents exactly that calm and protective energy within the group. While Mira has a strong personality and Rumi takes the lead, ZOEY is the breath of air, the peace in the middle of the storm. And that's exactly what the audience loves about her. The best part is, this love for turtles is so real, it even affects her life off stage. Example? After a mind-blowing concert, everyone expected ZOEY to go out and celebrate. But do you know what she said? That all she wanted was to rush to the couch, grab a cozy blanket, and watch a turtle documentary. While some idols relax with karaoke or shopping, ZOEY would rather watch a slow-motion reptile swimming with its shell. Iconic! At the end of the day, that's her magic. Turning something simple, like loving turtles, into her trademark. It's not just cuteness, it's identity, it's balance. Saja fan. Right at the start, when the Saja boys show up, ZOEY just goes with the beat. You can clearly see she's really enjoying it, moving her body side to side, totally vibing. The problem is, Rumi and Mira were not thrilled at all. And that's where the fan theory comes in. Could ZOEY secretly be a true Saja Boys fan? In another scene, when she's at the penthouse with Bobby, he points out how the demon boy band had already taken over much of the audience. And guess what? ZOEY starts moving again, this time to the song Soda Pop, right alongside Bobby. For a second, it was like she forgot they were even talking about dangerous villains and just got swept up in the fangirl vibe. Deep down, that shows a lot about her essence. Innocent, empathetic, and willing to look beyond the surface. Yes, the guys were demons, But ZOEY, with her guardian turtle heart, didn't believe they were entirely evil. And let's be real, she wasn't completely wrong, because even a villain's music can be irresistible when the beat slaps. Before we keep uncovering all the things you missed about ZOEY, drop a comment below with the word turtle so we know you're loving the video. Past. Very little is known about ZOEY's past, and it was never really shown in the movie. But some clues appear between the lines, especially in the song Golden. In that scene, we see ZOEY torn, being pulled by two hands. On one side, her Korean mother's hand, on the other, her American father's hand. The moment is symbolic, clearly showing how she grew up between two cultures, always trying to please both at the same time. In the process, she ended up losing herself in her own identity. Many fans interpret this as a reference to her parents' divorce, which probably happened when she was still a child. ZOEY may have been forced to split her life between two completely different countries, carrying a heavy emotional load from a very young age. The most talked about theory is that her parents' marriage ended because her mother hid her secret life as a hunter from her father. When he found out, he may have felt betrayed, and that was what led to the breakup. How Celine met ZOEY. One of the biggest mysteries in the movie, and one that directly involves ZOEY, is how she ended up with the Huntrix in the first place. The million-dollar question is, how did Celine meet her and decide to invite her to become a hunter? According to a very popular fan theory, there are two types of hunters: hereditary and charismatic. The hereditary ones are those who already have a direct link to a family member who was a hunter before them, passing the legacy down. The charismatic ones are those awakened through pain, ordinary people who, after going through a deep trauma, end up revealing hidden powers. In ZOEY's case, many fans believe her mother was once a hunter, which would justify the hereditary side. But that wouldn't be the real reason she became a huntrix. For the fans, what truly awakened her powers was the pain of her parents' divorce. That separation may have triggered her potential, making her a charismatic, someone shaped not just by inheritance, but by the intensity of her own emotional scars. And it was exactly at that turning point that Celine may have appeared in her life. By noticing the strength and balance ZOEY carried, even in the middle of her pain, Celine could have reached out and invited the girl to join the Huntrix. Needy. In the movie, it's pretty clear that ZOEY is more emotionally needy compared to her friends. She's always trying to please, almost as if she's afraid of upsetting someone or losing her place. A strong example of this is the scene where Rumi says she doesn't want to sing Latal in their performance. ZOEY tries to be understanding, but deep down she's visibly shaken. She even suggested switching the song, but that hits her in a different way. In a moment of frustration, ZOEY almost tears apart her own composition notebook. The very same notebook where she keeps her ideas, lyrics, and emotions. And here's the curious part. She's actually the one responsible for creating the group's songs. If she destroyed that notebook, she would only create more work for herself later. Even so, in that moment, her emotional pain spoke louder than logic. Many fans believe this behavior shows the root of her neediness. ZOEY may have carried the scars of her parents' divorce from early on. Being an only child, she didn't have siblings to share the emotional burden or to lean on for support. That made her grow up with a stronger desire to be accepted, recognized, and loved. And maybe that's why she tries so hard to keep everyone and everything balanced, but deep inside, she still carries that emptiness, as if she's always searching for the love and validation she didn't get in childhood. Inspired by Rosé. When the Huntrix were created, the directors drew inspiration from several real-life idols. And when it comes to ZOEY, the most famous reference is almost unanimous: Rosé from Blackpink. Just like the character, Rosé also lived a life split between two countries, carrying that cultural duality that reflects in both her personality and her career. On top of that, the visual and stylistic similarities are undeniable. Both have that sweet, delicate appearance, but at the same time carry an inner strength that wins over huge crowds. It didn't take long for fans to notice the connection, filling forums and social media with comparisons between the two. Things got so obvious that even director Maggie Kang ended up being asked about it, and she confirmed that yes, Rosé was indeed one of the inspirations for bringing ZOEY to life. Short height. This is the perfect time for you to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. That way no update will ever slip by. ZOEY is officially the shortest of the tricks. You can easily notice this during performances. Whenever the group sings together on stage, there's always that subtle but visible height difference between her and the other members. And this isn't just some fan theory. The director herself confirmed that ZOEY would be, on average, around 1.60 meters tall, or maybe even a little shorter. What's most interesting is that, unlike the Saja boys, who were all created from the same base body and only given slight aesthetic variations, the Huntrix went through a totally different process. Each hunter was developed individually, with unique inspirations, so that they would each carry their own identity. In other words, no copy and paste with tiny tweaks. Every detail was intentional, from their height and style to their tastes and quirks. Optimism. One of ZOEY's most striking traits is her unshakable optimism. No matter how tough things get, she always believes everything will turn out fine. It's like she wears a special lens that only lets her see the positive side of things, sometimes overly positive. But that's exactly what makes her so charismatic. A good example of this happens when Rumi has trouble with her voice. ZOEY doesn't even think twice. She immediately runs to help her friend. She puts complete trust in whoever might solve the problem, even if the doctor, Dr. Han, doesn't exactly seem reliable. But to ZOEY, the only thing that matters is her friend's well-being. She's not thinking about herself or the risks. Her priority is making sure Rumi gets better and keeps shining on stage. This kind of behavior shows exactly why ZOEY is considered the heart of the group. Her optimism isn't just a personality trait, it's practically a superpower, inspiring everyone around her, keeping the group together, and making hope feel possible even in the worst moments. Baby Saja. Besides being shipped with mystery, ZOEY is also at the center of romance theories involving Baby Saja. Yes, fans are always imagining scenarios and love creating these ships. One of the most popular ideas is that K-pop Demon Hunters 2 could be a sort of Beauty and the Beast version, where ZOEY tries to win Baby Saja over by showing him a different world, teaching him to care more about people, and of course, getting him to open up emotionally. Now let's be real, when it comes to Baby Saja, that strategy sounds at the very least complicated. He's not exactly the easiest type to convince, and many fans already doubt this approach would work. But still, the theory shows just how limitless the audience's imagination is. They love exploring the possibility of ZOEY balancing even Baby Saja with her sweet, steady, and optimistic way of being. At the end of the day, this mix of charm, sweetness, and growth potential is what makes ZOEY so beloved. The youngest of the group, who's still going to show all the strength and complexity she carries inside her. If animations are your thing, check out these two super cool videos we've prepared. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video!